Most mechanics have a secret list of cars they pray never roll into their shop. Not because they cannot fix them, but because they know these vehicles will financially destroy their customers. I have spent 15 years in automotive service, and I am about to reveal that exact list to you. Last month alone, I watched 3 customers walk away from repair estimates that exceeded their car's entire value, and every single vehicle was on this list. If you are car shopping or currently own any of these 12 models, this video could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. Hit that subscribe button right now because I am sharing insider knowledge that dealerships do not want you to know, and stick around until the end where I reveal the #1 car that has maintenance costs so extreme they make luxury home payments look affordable. We are counting down from 12 to 1, with each car getting progressively more expensive to maintain, so let me jump right into the vehicles that will drain your bank account faster than you can say depreciation. Number 12, Volkswagen Phaeton 2004 through 2006. Starting our countdown with Germany's most expensive automotive mistake. Volkswagen decided to build a luxury sedan that could compete with Mercedes and BMW, pricing it at over $100,000. But here is what they failed to consider. This car shares almost nothing with any other Volkswagen model, which means every single component had to be engineered from scratch. Just last year, I had a customer bring in a Phaeton with completely failed air suspension. The owner expected maybe a few $100s for what seemed like a typical Volkswagen repair. When I delivered the estimate of $8,500 for a complete air suspension system replacement, I watched his face turn white. The car was worth less than the repair bill. But that is just the beginning with these cars. Annual maintenance averages $4,200 because every component is bespoke. You are paying Bentley prices for repairs on a vehicle worth less than a used Honda Civic. Volkswagen discontinued this model after just 3 years because even they realized it was financial suicide for buyers. Number 11, BMW X5 with air suspension 2007 through 2013. Here's your first lesson about expensive car ownership. Air suspension systems are financial nightmares disguised as luxury features. The BMW X5 system is particularly brutal because when one component fails, it creates what we call cascade failure throughout the entire network. I had a customer whose X5 started sagging on the left rear corner during a family vacation. She figured she could drive it home and get it fixed locally, but by the time she reached my shop, the system had overpressurized the working struts trying to compensate, causing failures throughout the entire suspension network. The final damage was $7,800 for complete system replacement, but here is the real financial disaster. Her X5 lost 20% of its value the moment potential buyers saw air suspension problems on the service records. She ended up losing $15,000 in total value from one failed component that initially cost maybe $50. Number 10, Mercedes-Benz S-Class, W220, and W221 2000 through 2013. The S-Class represents German over-engineering at its most financially devastating. These vehicles contain more computer modules than most small offices, and when they start miscommunicating with each other, your wallet becomes the casualty. The airmatic suspension alone averages $6,000 to replace completely, but that represents just the tip of the iceberg. I have documented owners spending $25,000 in their first 3 years of ownership just keeping the electronics functional. The most expensive single repair I have seen was $18,000 for a complete electrical system overhaul when the main control modules started failing in sequence. Mercedes will never tell you this, but after 80,000 miles, these cars transform into money pits. The depreciation curve looks like a cliff dive while repair costs spike exponentially in the opposite direction. Number 9, Cadillac XLR 2004 through 2009. General Motors thought they could challenge Mercedes and BMW luxury convertibles with the XLR, but instead they created a maintenance monster. The retractable hardtop system alone contains 68 separate components that can fail, and believe me, they will fail. I worked on an XLR where the roof mechanism jammed halfway open during a thunderstorm. The owner had to drive 45 minutes home in pouring rain because the system completely locked up and would not respond to any commands. The repair cost $11,000 for a complete roof mechanism replacement plus an additional $3,000 in water damage to the interior electronics. But the real financial killer in these cars is the Northstar V8 engine. These engines have a fundamental design flaw where head gaskets fail around 80,000 miles. The repair costs $8,500 because General Motors engineered the engine so poorly that you practically have to remove it from the car to fix it properly. Number 8. Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 Spyder, 1995 through 1999. This represents Japan's most over-engineered nightmare. Mitsubishi decided to pack twin turbos, all-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, active suspension, and a retractable hardtop into one platform. When everything functions properly, it is genuinely impressive. When it breaks, and it will break, you're looking at bankruptcy. The retractable hardtop costs $15,000 to replace when it fails, and failure is not a matter of if, but when. The active suspension system requires $12,000 in maintenance every 50,000 miles just to keep functioning. But here's the real problem that makes these cars financially impossible to maintain. Mitsubishi stopped supporting these vehicles years ago. When the transfer case failed on one I worked on, the owner spent 6 months searching for a replacement part. He finally located one for $8,000 and it was used with unknown mileage. His car was worth $12,000 total. Number 7. Mazda RX-7 FD 1993 through 2002. Rotary engines represent engineering marvels that operate completely differently from traditional piston engines. They are also mechanical time bombs specifically designed to detonate your savings account at regular intervals. Here is what Mazda marketing never advertised. Rotary engines require complete rebuilds every 60,000 miles under normal driving conditions. Push them hard like most owners do. And you are looking at rebuilds every 40,000 miles without exception. A proper rotary rebuild costs between $15,000 and $20,000 because it requires specialized knowledge, tools, and parts that most shops simply do not have. I personally know RX-7 owners who have spent $45,000 in engine rebuilds on cars currently worth $25,000. Add to this fuel economy that averages 12 miles per gallon with mandatory premium fuel, and you are literally burning money just to drive these cars every single day. Number 6. BMW 7 Series E65 2002 through 2008. This generation BMW 7 Series introduced the revolutionary iDrive system, which should have been called iBankrupt because of the repair costs it generates for unsuspecting owners. The electronic problems in these vehicles cascade like dominoes falling in sequence. When the main control module fails, it takes 12 other systems down with it. I have personally seen repair bills exceeding $18,000 for electrical problems that started with a simple $200 sensor failure. The most expensive case I have handled was $23,000 to completely rewire the car's electronic systems. This owner had already spent $15,000 in the previous 2 years on electrical repairs alone. He finally traded the BMW for a Honda Accord and told me it was the smartest financial decision he had ever made regarding automobiles. Number 5. Ferrari 512 TR 1992 through 1994. Ferrari ownership is expensive by nature, but the 512 TR elevates maintenance costs to completely absurd levels. The 12-cylinder engine requires complete removal from the vehicle for basic maintenance procedures that other cars accomplish with simple access panels. An oil change costs $2,500 because accessing the oil pan requires 16 hours of labor to drop the entire engine from the car. The timing belt service costs $12,000 and must be performed every 30,000 miles or 5 years, whichever comes first, with no exceptions. I know a 512 TR owner who calculated his total cost of ownership over 3 years. Annual maintenance alone averaged $28,000, not including fuel, insurance, storage, or any other ownership costs. His car appreciated $15,000 during those 3 years while costing him $84,000 to maintain. The mathematics of 512TR ownership simply do not work unless money is completely irrelevant to your financial situation. Number 4. McLaren P1 2013 through 2015. Hybrid supercars represent the most expensive maintenance category in automotive history. The P1 combines Formula One racing technology with hybrid complexity, creating a perfect storm of repair costs that defy rational explanation. The hybrid battery system requires complete replacement every 40,000 miles at a cost of $25,000. The active aerodynamic system costs $18,000 to repair when sensors fail, which they do regularly, but here is the real financial killer that McLaren does not advertise. McLaren requires annual inspections costing $15,000 just to maintain warranty coverage on your $1 million investment. Skip one inspection, and McLaren voids your warranty completely. Total cost of ownership for the first 100,000 miles approaches $180,000 in maintenance alone. That exceeds the purchase price of most luxury homes. Number 3. Bugatti Veyron 2005 through 2015. The Veyron completely redefines expensive automotive maintenance. Annual service is absolutely mandatory and costs $42,000 every single year without exception. Miss one service interval and Bugatti voids the warranty on your $2 million hypercar. Tire replacement costs $38,000 for a complete set, and those tires last approximately 2,500 miles under normal driving conditions. The wheels must be X-rayed annually for stress fractures at $12,000 per inspection, because wheel failure at 250 miles per hour would be catastrophic. I have calculated that Veyron ownership costs approximately $300,000 in maintenance alone for every 100,000 miles driven. This car literally costs $3 per mile to operate, not including fuel, insurance, storage, or depreciation. Number 2. Aston Martin Lagonda, 1976 through 1990. The Lagonda represents British engineering ambition at its most expensive and problematic. The digital dashboard system was genuinely revolutionary for 1976, but the electronics technology was decades ahead of what was needed to support them reliably. These cars suffer from complete electrical system failures that render them completely undrivable without warning. The digital instrument cluster costs $45,000 to restore when it fails, and failure is guaranteed on every single example still in existence. I worked on a Lagonda where the owner had already spent $125,000 trying to make his $75,000 car reliable enough for occasional driving. The electrical problems were so complex that Aston Martin's own engineers could not solve them consistently. That car now sits in his garage as a very expensive sculpture. Number 1. Porsche 959, 1986 through 1993. Finally, we reach the most expensive car to maintain ever built by any manufacturer. Porsche created exactly 959 examples of automotive perfection, then made them virtually impossible to maintain affordably by anyone. Annual maintenance averages $85,000 because every component is hand-built and completely irreplaceable through normal channels. Porsche actually had to restart their entire restoration program just to keep existing cars functional on the road. Tire replacement costs $25,000 per set, and only one company in the entire world manufactures them to the required specifications. Transmission service costs $35,000 and requires shipping the car back to Germany for work that cannot be performed anywhere else. The most expensive 959 repair I have documented was $185,000 for a complete drivetrain rebuild after component failure. The owner's insurance company initially refused coverage, claiming no automobile could possibly require such expensive repairs. Total lifetime ownership costs exceed $500,000 in maintenance alone, not including purchase price, insurance, storage, or any other ownership expenses. These 12 cars prove that expensive does not mean reliable. In fact, expensive often means financially devastating for average buyers. The common thread connecting every vehicle on this list is over-engineering, proprietary technology, and discontinued manufacturer support, creating perfect storms of repair costs. If you are currently shopping for a vehicle, remember this simple rule: simplicity saves money. Avoid exotic materials, complex electronics, limited production numbers, and anything requiring specialized tools or knowledge for basic maintenance. But speaking of cars to avoid, you need to see my next video where I reveal the worst cars that absolutely no one is buying anymore. These are vehicles so fundamentally flawed that even desperate car lots cannot move them off their inventory. I am talking about cars with such terrible reputations that they are sitting unsold for months, and dealers are practically giving them away. Click the video appearing on your screen right now, and I will show you exactly which models have such disastrous reliability records that even rock-bottom pricing cannot attract buyers. This information could save you from accidentally purchasing someone else's automotive nightmare at what seems like a great deal. If this video just saved you from making a costly mistake, hit that like button and subscribe for more money-saving automotive advice. I post new videos every week, revealing insider knowledge that helps you avoid expensive automotive disasters.